and they're fifth. Sadie's running away. Get down, sis. And they're thirsty. I've been gone all morning, and I got to get some water for them. But we'll keep talking here. How's everybody out there in webinar land? They are thirsty dogs, so I got to get them some water. So you haven't seen, when I was in Colorado, I would show you our ranch and all around. We live a little more urban now, but I've shown a little bit of this inside. But guys, get back, Sissy. Let me show you my little bit of my backyard and a little bit of economics here. Actually, I've got a pond where we're growing ornamental fish that I'll show you. I'll go over to it and show you there's 4 generations of fish in it that are less than a year old, and they're koi. And they've grown from eggs, their own mom and her offspring. And I just came back today from being in the airport, taking Deb, my wife, to the airport to go on a trip. So a little bit of noise there. Apologize to that. A lot of here to seeing the dogs. I've had a lot of things happen in my life in the last week since our last webinar. We'll talk about those. How about you guys? Put something in the chat. There's one of the dogs looking to get the water once again. She doesn't like putting her head down in there. I think it's it's sort of twitch. She's going, why is all that water spraying out of that thing? That's funny. So what has everybody been up to this last week? Mark's been sick. Mark's been under the weather a little bit.
Yeah. But I've been thinking about the dog site, so auction site. I've been giving it a lot of thought. So yeah, looking at some of the auction sites, like the classic horse auction site. So that's what we're going for.
Do you think we can use AI to help write code for us so we don't have to use maybe one of these ones that you pay a monthly subscription for? That's what I'm thinking could be possible.
Yeah, I think so too. And those are expensive. The ones like the Handbid or similar websites, those are like over 1,000 a month, I think, for subscription. So we can design something ourselves. We could be saving a lot of money. So I pretty much think that we can use AI to design similar websites.
I would think so. It would sure seem like we ought to be able to do that. So what Mark's talking about, for those that we haven't spoken to about it, I think I did mention it last week in the webinar, but is I recently have been in the market for a horse, and we're going to walk back, and I'm going to show you one that I did buy from a friend. So the one that I'll walk back there right now. I got to get this hose out of the yard so the dogs don't chew on it. But by the way, lots of little things related to economics, farming and ranching in particular, that people just don't think about. I have lost through the years multiple hoses because I was lazy and did not move them from where I was using them. There's this old adage in life, literally should be one of the commandments. And Mark, tell me if you've heard it. if you're using something, if you're using a tool, all right, for a job, what should you do with it when you're done with it?
Uh, Probably keep it safe, keep it clean, and store it safely.
All those things are great. Nothing wrong with any of them, but that's not the real simple rule. See if anybody in the audience comes up with it. There's a really simple rule. And this is usually for people that don't own the item that they're using. It's for employees that frankly don't care about things as much as an owner does typically. But because all the things Mark just said are important, cleaning, yeah, a lot of people will use tools that they were involved in using and they don't clean them. So they get them filthy while they're using them and they end up going back dirty. And maybe the first time that happens, they aren't in a lot worse shape, but keep doing that time after time, they're going to be much worse shape. But no, that's not, this is a real, much more simple rule. And again, I'm not trying to impose any kind of spirituality on people, but I think most of the major spiritual beliefs of the world involve something like the Ten Commandments. So do not, you shouldn't kill people. You shouldn't steal from people. You shouldn't lie to people. You shouldn't, covet someone's stuff, meaning you want to have it. I want what that person has. Um, so these are, you have not seen it all right, Mark, as I walk here. You're seeing my barn and a couple of trucks.
Yes,
I'm going to show you my horse, who might be out of hay. So this is an area that's not as well organized right now as I'd like it. This is an example of not so much the problem. By the way, I'm going to get to what it is that you should do with stuff. There's my neighbor building a little shed that he's putting on the back of his barn. He's actually mowing, it looks like right now. Oh no, he's moving something. All right, my this is my horse Yeti that we're gonna get to see here in a second. Hey, yeah, come here, big guy. Yatters, come here. Yeti, come here, buddy. Yeti, Yeti, come here. Come on. There, he's listening. Come on, bud. Come here. Come on, big guy. I can't see my camera, so to know whether are you seeing him all right? Hey,
yeah,
big guy. There you go. How's my big man? So he is a walking horse, and his coloration would be called paint because he has multiple colors, mostly brown and white. But because he's white, he actually gets a little sunburn, so you can see right around his eyes. We've just had more sun here recently, and I'm probably going to have to do some kind of a mask for him through the summer because of his white head. By the way, horses love to be massaged. If they're a horse that gets rode very much, and he does, we ride Yeti pretty much daily, and he loves it too. He's so I'm gonna go over to a trailer and grab some hay. That's where his grain goes. He actually needs a little water too, so I'm gonna add that while we're standing here. But anyway, back to what should you do? It should be a commandment. Put it back where you found it. If you took
all
a
right, yeah,
tool somewhere, you're done with it. Put it back where you found it. And people just don't get that. Very often don't do it. So
absolutely,
I'm
yeah.
adding water. This is a chick coop that we got that I use for wild birds actually. And just different pieces.
Uh-oh. I think your signal is a little weak here.
Really, it'll get better. I'm in a bad
Yeah, it's getting
spot.
better now.
I have to grab some hay back here, and it might be a little worse out there. This is one of our pasture next to us that we're not using right now. We will be. Does anybody have questions or comments?
No, I don't see questions, comments yet, but mm, no, no questions yet.
Times described in what are called flakes. When you break a bale of hay that's been baled into, these are 60-pound bales, a little bit larger than normal. Usually a bale would be 50 pounds, and it would typically be that this is about 4.5 feet long. It would typically be about 3.5, about this long, but these are a little bigger bales. And because of that, they're 60 pounds rather than 50. I'm going to have to grab this. So I'm going to put the phone. You're going to see sort of blackout on the picture for a second. So don't worry about it. I think you'll still hear me fine. I gotta grab this flake. So hay breaks off in flakes. And in this case, I think I'm taking him 3. In fact, I know I am. That's how many I'm taking to feed him. And he eats between 6 and 8 a day. The warmer the day, the more he'll eat. Phone back out to see something of value. But anyway, Mark started to talk about something he was excited about, which is this dog site. That is a passion of mine, and I truly want to make sure I leave the message with you guys. Follow your passions, and that means not just with your families and such as you live life outside of work, but follow them in your business. And I've been lucky. Most of my life, I've been able to do that. I have followed my passions in my business, which means I've done things that I love and I would do them for free. I do some of them for free. And, and having dogs that I compete with, not only do I do it for free, it costs me a lot of money to do it. And we win stinking ribbons is all we get. I'm saying that in kind of a funny way, because you're not doing it for whatever you win. You're doing it because you love it. And I do environmental work because I love it. I think it's amazing that we're helping clean sites up and making them more useful for others in the future. But I also bought a different horse, one that's going to be delivered to me from Kentucky middle of this coming week. Yeti, though, is one that I bought from a breeder friend. But anyway, there are a lot of auction sites online that you can go to buy horses. Mark, why don't you just do a Google search or Gemini search, which, by the way, everybody, if you have Chrome, you should have a free subscription to Gemini. Gemini is Google's AI system, and you can use it to do amazing analysis of spreadsheets. There's also a paid version, and unfortunately, we're trying to figure out how to get Mark a version of that. That's one of my dogs. That's a playing activity. So she's trying to play with the male thinking there. Here's our garden, by the way, which will grow enough food for us to literally, we're still eating vegetables that we grew in this tiny little garden over here, less than a third of an acre, less than a quarter of an acre. We still are eating about a third of our vegetables from the garden that we had last year. So Deb could tell you what all this is, and it's everything you can imagine. We live in pretty much a banana belt, a place where anything will grow. fruits, every kind of vegetable you can imagine. This is all hugel culture, so there's pieces of wood underneath these raised beds. Those are onions, I believe, that are the most early rising thing that we have around here. These are all blackberries and raspberries along this pond area, and I'm going to show you the pond here next. I mentioned the fish. These are koi, you're going to see. Oh, cool. They're out in the sun right now. There's a bigger one in there. That's the first generation. They had babies, that bigger orange one you see, and those next sizes around them are the second generation. And then there's some smaller ones, none of which I'm seeing right now. They're intelligently hiding. There's one right there. There's a next generation. And then we have two big ones that were the first. So that one orange one you saw, and we have there's a bunch of the bigger ones right over here. That's the second generation. The first generation are two bigger fish, just two. That must be a mom and a dad and a pop. Mom and a dad. By the way, one thing that's different this year is this is growing more filamentous algae right there than I'd like. I may have to do something about that. We actually have a leak in our liner right over here. You could see the hole in it right there. That we've got to fix. These are either blackberries or raspberries. They're early in the year, so I can't tell which of the two. And they literally grow like weeds here. They grow that readily. So there's one of the edible berries starting to grow right there. That's a lavender tree right there, right here. That is beautiful flowers earlier in the season. Anyway, back to the dog site. There, there are horse sites where almost anybody that buys a horse that they're going to use for some kind of king purpose. So use it as truly a ranch horse, something that's not just going to be a pleasure horse that's rode around just have fun on, but it's a working horse. There are a bunch of different auction sites. And Mark, do a Google search or a Gemini search and show people some of them. And go to Classic
Okay.
Horse Auction first. And then
All right. I'll go to that first. Okay, so here's classic horse auction site.
and go to one of the auctions and show them what it is we're going to have to create. Because most of what's on the site is something that the owners of the horses put on. And they're supposed to put on a half an hour video of the horse. Excuse me, a 15-minute video. But then another section of it to make it where the total of the video is a half hour. And he's marks on the sold horses right now. And you can actually go up there on top and you can see that you can so you can look at every one they've ever sold. This company's only been around 2 years, not even 2 years. Their second anniversary will be in July.
So you want me to go to current auctions or?
Yeah, go to current auctions.
Okay.
And these are all, again, horses that are used for a purpose. And they started this site, the owners, for what are called gaited horses. Gaited horse is a horse that will walk or go at a trot that are incredibly comfortable to ride. You can be a very novice rider. You can have poor, you'd be all different kinds of disabilities, and you can still ride them. So the two most prominent breeds are Tennessee Walkers, and I'm going to switch, Mark, to my computer here. So as I make the switch, It'll turn my phone off. There we go. And Mark, I'm not seeing, maybe as I switched, your screen isn't coming on yet. Right now, I'm seeing
No,
just your
I've stopped sharing, but I'll share uh, again. So yeah, I put my screen back up.
All right, so notice this one. Oh, what are you doing? Get rid of that one. This one, let's go back to that one above it. I don't think this one's had any bids yet. This one still says starting bid. Go to one. There was one you were on where it doesn't say starting. Somebody's bid on. Oh, there we go. Sunshine. Go back. Go back. Go back. Go back. No, not one. Not that one. Well, that one had a current bid too. I want one that says current bid.
Yeah.
Now, Mark, slow down. Okay, here we go. Says current bid. That means somebody has bid on it. So this is what you see on the homepage for those that are being sold right now. They put their company stamp on the photos. So they're not, they were probably provided by the owner, but the kind of the auction put their name on it. So now click on that horse's picture. A video will come up. And most of these videos are about a half an hour. So I'll go down, Mark. Let's see how long it is. We're not going to watch much of it, if any.
So there's no time
I'll
stamp.
click and you'll see it. As soon as you start it, it'll show you the time.
Oh, okay, there it is.
There's this
16.
15 minutes, right? So anyway, we're not going to watch that. But now keep going down. He actually added that. He said that's a new video. He must have had another one at first. There's where you put your bid in, right? And then keep going because there's going to show at the very bottom. Then there's a whole bunch of images of him that you can get. Then there's going to be a description of him. He's a very young horse, so he's just born in 2022. Keep going. So that's a second video. So this person, there's going to be even more of a description below this. Keep going, Mark. Keep scrolling down. There's the description. That's not very much of a description. Some will put more on it. And then he's got his health documents, which are important. Keep going. This is telling you what you need to do. And here's bids. Somebody bid 3,500 on May 17th at 5:27 p.m. So let's now go back to the current auctions. We'll look at another horse, and I want to show you one where there's been many different bids on it. And one of the important things to look at is when does the auction end? Right below that, and that's, by the way, a gated horse in the way they're what's called parked. So they're stretched out. It makes you easier to get up on top of it. So there's 5 days, 3 hours, and 35 minutes, and 40 seconds left in it. Let's find one that's less. If we find one that doesn't have a lot left, we'll see more bids. People in auctions will bid right at the end. How many is this one over there at the corner? I've got something screen, still 5 days. Keep going down though. We're going to get down to one where there's only a couple days left, probably 5 days. 12 days. 12 days. 19. These might be going up. So maybe 5 days is actually the one that's the most recent there. Another 12. Whoa, 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 that one. 0 days. This is almost over. Now, click on the picture again.
Scroll down quite a ways. There's, again, that's probably a 16, 17-minute video. There we go. So today is the 22nd. All the bids have come in today. And one was early this morning. Another one was at 7:28 in the morning. And then one 1:50. And so it's actually 3:26 here, but that's back in the east, so it's later there. It's 2 hours later. So there's that one could be it. That could be the top bid. But
2,000.
this is what we need to figure out how to do, Mark, without going to one of those fancy,
Right.
expensive sites like Handbid. So now let's leave that open in a tab if you can, and just do a search for horse auctions, and let's find another one. And I once I see the names, I know some of the more common ones. Yeah, horse auction online. You spelled auction wrong there, so it's on. It's there, Mark. It'll all. There you go. Let's try that one. Never heard of it, but Horse 24 it's called.
All 24. Okay.
Pretty easy. They want it to be easy, so look at online auctions up there at the top. Running auctions. They're all going to look a lot alike. These don't run as long because this is, look at it, only started 2 days ago and it's going to be over. Let's look at that first horse because it's only got a day left. So I don't know where you click on. Just try that and see if that takes you to more about it.
It looks like it's loading. Okay.
I
That
want
doesn't have. Yeah.
bids look like. No, that's going down to the next one. Wait a minute, maybe not. Let's see. See, this one's in Germany somewhere, it looks like. Or oh, I think this is all about this one. There's pictures of it when it had a colt. This must be a mare. I just want to get down to where, oh, there's the bids over on the right. 12.5. I don't think that's the same one. Keep going down. You know what? That's showing different auctions. So we're still not there. Click on, these are baby horses they're selling, so they're less than months old. Click on that one, Sunny Surprise, lost lot 8.
Sunny Surprise. Oh,
Right.
this one. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Oh, that one nobody's bid on. We don't want to see that one. I'm sorry. Let's back out of that one again and go backwards and go to the.
Okay.
See, this auction is one that it's not like classic where they run different times. This one started at one time and it's going to end. All of these are going to end. Let's go to the one where there's the next one, current bid. Yeah, that one, because there's somebody's bid on that one. See if we can just find where the bidding. I want to see how they're handling the bidding. Scroll down. Let's see if it shows us. All right, the next bid, it can be 42.50. There's only been one bid. It says that right over there. And it
But
was
the currency is euro, right? This is
that's pounds.
Pounds, okay. Is it higher than dollar?
No, a dollar's higher than pounds right now.
Okay,
4,000 pounds would be $4,600 maybe as a would be the conversion maybe. Or that's euros. I said pounds. It's euros. It's not pounds. It's euros. And I don't know what the conversion is right now.
okay.
We can look it up. Open another tag. How many dollars you can just ask is
Dollar to,
4,000.
yeah. So $1 is 89 cents in euro. So just a 10-cent short.
Well, it's 10% though.
Yeah.
So it'd be $4,400 rather than,
So if I put 4,000 euro is 45, yeah.
right. But there's only one bid. We're just trying to see how what it looks like and whether we can tell what bidding auction program they used here.
You want to go to page source or
Yeah, maybe you can tell by clicking on
uh,
page. It's got auctions there. And maybe that's just the page.
yeah. So something like Amazon. So S3 is Amazon's storage. So they're storing this in Amazon, that we know. So being hosted in Amazon.
And then you can see the all their social media there, Twitter.
Right.
um,
And yeah, these are social media.
It's not a WordPress.
Nope.
All right. Let's try it. Let's just see if we can get this to work. Go to ChatGPT, Mark, and let's see if we can go to our OpenAI and open up just like 4.0 or one of the most, yeah, that'll work, and do a new chat. Say, can you help us write the code for an online auction site? Put site, yep. Absolutely. All
Right.
right. You do need all of that, right? You need you want your users to register. You want them to be able to log in. You probably want to vet them to make sure they can afford to bid, because these are going to be, not trivial amounts of money. You want real-time out updates, immediate. So as soon as somebody bids, that everybody else should be able to see it. You want to have a payment integration. Yep, you want that. And you want the,
Email notifications, SMS.
yep. All right. So it says it can do it. but let's see how. So what are we gonna, what kind of a prompt are we there? Well, there's some code. I don't know what that is. But can you put that, can you embed that on one of our, on Kajabi and see what it looks like? See what it shows us it is, if we just put it on a page or?
Or I can do online. There are other like W3 schools. They let you try codes. So try JavaScript. So try. Yeah, I can put that here.
Okay,
And let's see. Let me copy this. Okay. Now run. Well, didn't give me anything.
yeah, a bunch of stuff there.
Maybe
Bunch of errors.
right. Maybe it's not a Java. Maybe it's a HTML. So let me try HTML. Mm, what went wrong?
Is that, did you paste it there or not?
Yeah, let me see if I copy again. No, didn't give me anything.
Let's go
So
back to that. I thought it might have said whether it was Java up at the top on the, go back to the, there.
yeah, it says it's JavaScript. So should be able to run it here and try in Java.
Again, maybe you just messed up. Let's try it again one more.
Yeah. Something went wrong. Anyway, I can like try and make it work. So if I say, okay, here's HTML,
Let's put that into an HTML.
right? Try HTML. Oh, yeah, I'll keep
So
this.
that you need to get rid of that.
Uh,
Oh, wait a minute. It shows it. You
yes,
got, on mine, you got the bar. There we go. Your current
yeah,
bit.
yeah. It gave me this. So now I can embed part of the code. It will give me everything, whatever I need. So
Well, how's it have the new bid? So you would think you'd want it to show the new bid also. So it ought to show your bid.
Mm.
It ought to show current bid and then your bid.
right, I can ask this like, yeah, it also says build this on Kajabi with embed feature. Expand this full featured.
Pull up a Kajabi. You can just put up a Kajabi page.
Okay.
Said it'll do it for you, actually. Yeah, you just want a landing page, just pick one that looks, and then just embed something in it.
Use a new landing page.
Just make it a blank page and then you can. you're, I'm sure other people are seeing this too. You've got a bar going across the center of your screen that is probably
It's Zoom's thing, but yeah, got rid of that.
it's gone, yeah. I don't know that you want that. Well, you're gonna need to open it so you can edit it.
Oh,
You open that sign up page and then go over on the left, you'll see what you can add for. You want to add a code section to the bottom. So just keep going, add something.
custom code. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, and somehow we don't have, there must be another piece here. It's not adding what would be the next bid, or maybe we have to go back and read those instructions a little bit better.
I can say that add a um,
Yeah, that works.
JavaScript.
I think you put it another, just add another content, yeah. No, that didn't work.
Didn't work.
Get rid of that and have to put some different kind of code in there. I don't know what. Levi's note taker got bored with us. That's the first time I've seen that.
No, it stays for 40 minutes.
Oh, wow, 40 minutes in, that's right, wow.
Yes.
Oh, we'll get to some of your comments, Alicia, in just a minute. Thank you for putting those in. Just see if we can get this to work. Put it below it, Mark.
Let me try HTML, see if this works.
There we go, look at that.
Yeah.
Now, bid 5.
You gotta preview this. Maybe.
Yeah, preview, right, preview.
Bid. Your bid. So it's not no function here yet. It's giving me design, but
It's not connecting and going over to current. But it looks like we could do all this, Mark. We don't have to
yeah.
pay $1,000 a month. We'll figure out how to get it. And
Yep.
obviously just
Exactly.
add another piece.
Right. So just I'll tell AI to give me some codes that work. So I'll tell him, give me codes. I've seen this, people doing this. That's why I know that it can be done. So
Let's go back to some of Alicia's comments and see if we
okay.
want to talk about that.
All right. Okay, so
Let's look at the chat.
right.
I'll pull it up on mine and I'll have it.
Yeah, she has some long comments.
I'm gonna go back to the first one. The first one was 6 reasons why you should love weeds. Weeds are essential to pollinators. Yep, that's true. Weeds feed wildlife. Yep. Weeds benefit microorganisms. Yep. Weeds are good indicators of soil health. Yep. Weeds even provide nutrients for other plants. Yep. They prevent erosion. Okay, I think that those are not bad points. How Saudi Arabia is safeguarding biodiversity by restoring its ancient juniper. That's kind of cool. Click on that one, Mark, because you're sharing the screen and it'd be easier for you to do it.
Okay,
See what
I
that
good.
post shows us.
All right. How Saudi Arabia is safeguarding biodiversity, restoring its ancient juniper forest. Okay.
By the way, I've been to Saudi, not all over it, but I've been to Jeddah and I've been to Riyadh, and I didn't see any mountains like that anywhere, and I didn't see anything anywhere that green anywhere in Saudi. So that's a place that I haven't been, and I didn't realize that it was that. That looks like a lot more moisture to create that much green than what I saw throughout Saudi.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yep, I see how those would be good to have there. And it's obviously a Middle Eastern juniper that doesn't look just like ours out here. We have junipers in my backyard that I was showing you earlier. Those were some juniper plants. They do grow in very low moisture. They do have blueberries just like that. Um, so, okay, that's that one.
Yeah, look how green this is. So
Yeah,
doesn't
where does it say? Does it see if the article itself tells us
Mhm.
what that is? Because that I've never seen anywhere. Is there anywhere in your country that other than the rainforest areas? Do you have deserty areas, right, Mark? The rainforest would be like
Yeah.
that.
Yes. Yeah. So uh let's see the EPA moves to narrow water protection. Let's see this article.
Yeah, let's look at that one. That was very recent, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. So let's see what that says. It's interesting. All right, so this is the way it's going to define. So what it's saying is that some waters that right now are being considered waters of the US, they're changing and take it away. So the EPA and Army Corps has issued a memo narrowing the Clean Water Act scope following a court case. Industry groups such as home builders support the change, citing longstanding confusion. Half of Iowa's rivers and streams are already impaired. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. I'll keep going. Scroll down a little more. Removing why this matters. Pulls back protections. Many small and seasonal streams feed into rivers and lakes, supply drinking water. Wetlands, often dismissed as swamps, play a key role. Yep, they do. What's it saying? I'm sure what it's saying is negative here. We'd have to read the whole article to be able to see that. Click read the full article. See what that says. Obviously, that's a lot more. This is about environmental journalism, so it's a lot bigger than, oh, here we go.
wetland.
Well, it might be saying that a wetland isn't a body of the United States, so it wouldn't be protected. That wouldn't be good if that's what it's doing, but I'm not going to draw any conclusions till I've seen some more than this.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right. Well, we got about 8 minutes left, so everybody throw in some questions, comments if you have them. We've been having fun today with my dogs and with Chat GPT and doing OpenAI. And let's go back to that, Mark, where we were seeing if we can.
Okay. Oh, this is a different article. If I can get to the,
Cover crops, not a silver bullet for your.
yeah, this one.
No, that's the same one we were just reading. But there's another one that you were on the other one, that one. There we go.
Okay.
Not a silver bullet for yield and climate goals. I don't know what that. Let's go down, scroll down on that one. People have always said cover crops are going to be really good for global warming and everything. I think this article is saying something different. Says that, okay, that second paragraph is kind of important. There's a study that was published that shows that don't screen yet, Mark. Don't move it. Shows that most regenerative practices aimed at building soil organic carbon, which means putting more growth into the soil instead of having it just be dirt, will either help reduce greenhouse gases or improve yields, but rarely both. That's interesting. So it's saying you can't have your cake and eat it too, or you can't have one positive and the other positive. It's going to have to be one or the other. So what does this say? We can have contextualized information about how farmers can choose the optimal mix of practices to meet their needs. Yeah, Wolf. Analysis ran scenarios through 2100 using 4 practices: grass cover crops, legume cover crops, no-till, and leaving crop residues in the fields. The results: grass cover crops with no-till. Well, so slow down. Limited greenhouse gas emissions, but they were the worst for yield. Legumes had higher yields, but were a lot less effective in reducing emissions. Drier regions, cover crops will compete for limited water. That is an issue. Some areas saw increased greenhouse gases compared to conventional, but then it didn't say that it didn't have higher yields. So that's a little bit interesting. Scroll down just a little bit more. Doesn't give a lot of stuff. That was done in my old hometown area, Colorado State University, Fort Collins, Colorado. Oh. Interestingly, they got a lot of different funding sources. All right. Well, we just got a couple minutes left here. Let's see if we have any other things in the chat. Got 2 new messages. Here's an AI and digital data optimized mapping. So a mapping application sounds pretty cool. That's an interesting one to look at. So they're using it to help make better roads. That makes total sense.
And so they're doing a type of flip book, like a
Yeah,
PDF.
they are. Yeah, cool.
Yep. I can put it in full screen and do the flip book.
Yeah, it's only 2 pages. It's not a book. It's just an article. But
Right.
I like reading flip book rather than a regular PDF where you
Yeah.
have to scroll. Instead, you can just click on arrows. All right. Well, I don't see any other questions. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. We had a great time and we had some fun doing some stuff. I actually did. Oh, I wanted to say this. I'll show it next week. I went to 2 really cool concerts. Mark would enjoy this the last 2 days. I went to one 2 days ago that was Bob Dylan, Willie Nelson, and a guy named Billy Strings. Have you ever heard of this guy, Mark? Billy Strings?
Fearless and straight? No.
Young guy, 33 years old. He could be, the next break into the top 10 of guitarists of all time. I mean,
Wow.
this could be a Hendrix type guy or
Huh.
a Kaplan type guy or a Page or Santana. I mean, the guy is unbelievable.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and then obviously Willie Nelson is just this old guy who still sings some pretty cool stuff. And Dylan, I'm sorry, but I think the guy ought to quit performing. He's getting a little old and wasn't that great. Then last night we went to James Taylor. And I don't know if any of you are James Taylor's fans, but whoa, was he good. And he's hasn't lost anything as he's aged. So he gave a really cool concert. So it was a lot of fun. So,
Right.
and he had some great musicians, including a drummer that Mark would probably enjoy. Oh, here's a question for you, Mark. You're getting to be a little bit older guy, but who out there, how old is Travis Barker, do you think?
Mm, no idea.
If you put a list of
Uh-huh.
the top 100 drummers in the history of music, how many of them are under 40 years old? I bet it's very
Top,
few. They
very
did it
few.
for guitarists, and
Yeah.
not one in the top 100 were under 50 years old.
Right. And most of them died, like Hendrix died really young.
Yeah, he died really young. So it's not like they've had a huge body of work to judge them from.
Right.
Um, in the top 10, I bet 6 or 8 of the top 10 are dead and
Mm,
died young, actually, in many cases. So
right.
um, we'll do that next week. We'll do a list. We'll look up some lists of the top 100 guitarists, the top 100 um, bass guitarists, the top 100 singers, the top 100 keyboardists, the top 100 drummers. We'll see.
Right.
You
Yeah,
have
the
time.
Rolling Stones magazine does that top 100.
Yeah, this was a Rolling Stones list, the one that
Okay.
gave the guitarists of all time.
Mhm.
All right, everybody, have a good one.